Hello, beautiful people.
Hello, hello. Happy Sunday.
How's everybody doing tonight?
Look what I'm doing. I'm doing this thing with the crystals in my hands. Do you know those things? What were they called? It was like a meditative thing. We have these two silver balls. They're from Asia. I think they're called Benoit balls or something like that. And then you move them.
That interesting sound when you
Yes,
click
it's like
them
a
together.
Ringing sound.
I used to be addicted to that.
So what's crazy?
Now you have to get that for me.
Now, okay, well, but you know what's crazy is that I had these crystals in my hand, and we were just grooving to the music before, and so I started. Whoops! There goes one. Just jumped away from me, and I was doing this movement, and I'm like, what is this that I'm doing?
Right.
Like I remembered something. You ever remember something that you used to do that you totally forgot you did? Like,
yeah, well, that was one right now.
Right, that was one for me.
I actually completely forgot about that. If we have to find like a picture of it or something. But so it's like these two still balls. You bring them together and you click them, and they make this like bzz, it's like a reverberating sound.
You're supposed to rotate them in the palms of your hands so that they don't clang, but they make this ringing sound.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
And it's meditative.
Yeah.
Okay. So now this is interesting because, I mean, we never plan about what we're going to talk about. Never. I know, but at the most we'll be like, oh, let's talk about the full moon tonight,
right?
And that's about it. Okay, so there's no full moon tonight. I know it's tomorrow night, right? Of course, in Aquarius, because it's my birthday in 2 days. Speaking of which, I have to thank Jennifer.
Yeah, Erica, I can't remember.
It was Jennifer. Jennifer D sent the most amazing presents, guys. And if you look it up, we put a little post on the community page. On actually your Instagram. So, Jennifer, if you're watching, thank you again. It was so sweet and amazing. Thank you for the lovely birthday present and wishes from some of you who have sent them to me. And Jennifer, the present was outstanding, the three of us. And she carved 3 wooden totems for each of us.
It was very sweet. So going back to timelines, Mandela effect, because I just said something, you guys, maybe put it in the chat. Was there something that you used to do that you never remembered you did, or like a place you used to go, or a food you used to eat? Like the other day, I was going through the supplements, and I was like, how come I used to take this other supplement. I was so into it. Yeah. And then one day it completely stopped taking it and completely forgot it existed. Maybe your body didn't need it anymore. True. Right. So, but let's talk about a little bit about timeline jumping, because a lot of people are talking about it. Even on TikTok, I've seen Gen Z talking about it. It's from the deja vu effect. So everybody back in our day when we were young, when deja vu happened, we went, oh, cool, deja vu, check it out, ha ha, and we moved on. Now, fast forward, we're like, wait, deja vu, hold up. We got to figure out what just happened here. And I've gone into separating, like I stop time a little bit now when deja vu happens, and I go, wait, hold on, let me just feel this real quick. What happened? And then I can feel myself. I've done this before, but I had a breakthrough in this area from many, many probably lifetimes of working on this one area of my fear or whatever. And I jumped the timeline right there because now I created a new future for myself. Right. So those timelines are, I've channeled on this. You've also channeled on this. I believe there have been some other channelers who've touched upon this. But we have the focused reality, which you call your life. And then you have your parallel realities, which they're not infinite, actually. These are realities that you could have done. Right. You could have married that person or not married that person. You could have become that thing. You could have moved that when you had that choice. And there is another psychic, multidimensional self version of you that continues in that dimension because of and I'm simplifying it for now, but I think I'm going to get into this in my next psychic lab, which, by the way, is coming up in about a week. It's called Portals, Frequencies, and Dimensions, which you don't even know. That's the name of the next episode. So timelines, your energy, your focus is what you call your real life. Then when you dream, you get a glimpse into other realities, other dimensions. So I'm going to dive really deep into that. But maybe that was one thing where you kind of remember something. Yeah. That you never... Well, have you ever considered that, like, and I know you have, but if you go back into your past and you talk about the traumas and experiences that you've had as a child, if you have
a new understanding of what happened, and it's no longer considered traumatic, but you see that you created that for your highest good because it puts you on a timeline that got you to where you are today. So if you go back and like make peace and have a little talk with your younger self and explain that this is all for the highest good and everything's going to work out, you will see that it will readjust a new timeline for you, and you'll literally be changing who you are today. Your cells literally listen to you and will change, and then the new you is going to be you'll start to feel the new you stepping in, and it's like you just get these new versions of you constantly.
That's
so
right.
People are calling that timeline jumping, but there's many ways to talk about it.
Right. But it is timeline jumping,
it is
right?
Timeline
because
jumping.
what is time in and of itself? How'd you like to start off tonight with some deep timeline jumping, interdimensional conversations? No, we can't do that. Erica, of course, says yes.
And for those of you who are just tuning in who have never seen us before, welcome. And we do have names and we do have occupations that we do. We will introduce ourselves, I promise.
I am psychic medium, trance channel shaman, author Riz the Wiz.
And I'm intuitive empath, Lady O. And we have been serving the public for over...
And the private.
15 years. And we have been helping people around the world. And this is what we do. If you guys are curious of what we do, you can go to the front page, or you can go to our website at rizmirza.com to see all the yummy things that we have been.
Yeah. And Psychic Sundays is something that didn't start on YouTube. By the way, look at this cool thing that YouTube sent us.
I know. And I have the dimmer
that?
down on purpose.
You dimmed it down?
Yeah, so it doesn't blow out the camera.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
And they like send you little presents as you kind of get more and more followers. So thank you. High five, by the way.
To encourage. Thank you all for getting us here. We have a little over,
10 months.
330,000.
300 something last I checked. So it's amazing.
Thank
all
you guys.
we called
October of last year.
We call you guys the meta mystics because you guys like your mystical information on steroids, and so that's what we do. Enhanced. Right. We are enhanced.
I asked everybody to tell us where they are hailing from.
Shout outs.
While we are waiting for that,
it's a psychic party going on. Let me tell you, there are so many guests. I'm
going to ask a question.
Well,
I'm going to ask a trivia question to you, and I'm also going to ask it to you.
Oh, this is a real party.
Yes.
Okay.
I would like to know, first of all, what generation are you guys?
Oh.
I would like to know. Put it in the chat box.
A lot of awareness about generations the last 2 years.
We're very interested in this topic.
Yeah.
And I want to hear that first. And I have a list of fun trivia questions for you guys throughout the night.
How about you start with one?
Let's start with one.
But that's not a trivia question.
That is a trivia question.
That's a poll.
Okay, that's a poll.
I learned that from Instagram. Okay. There are trivia questions and there are polls.
So apparently. We have Kathy in Montana and Jackie in Houston, Texas.
All right.
And we have Maury in Idaho. It's going too fast. And I need my glasses. Oh my God. Here we go. Here we go. Okay, so we have... Hippie Love is a boomer. Patricia is Gen X. Donna is Gen X. Brian is X. Miriam is millennial. Christine is Gen X. Caroline is Gen Z. Amy is an X. Jasenia is Gen Z.
Right.
Nancy is Gen X. Nicole, Gen X. Abigail, Riverside, California. Kathy just says old, straight up. And Buckshot says he just lives inside
Generation
the bell.
Old? Is that the name of the generation?
Yep. And then we have Marcy in Southern Illinois. Courtney in Kentucky. We have Adelie is a millennial. Well, Melody, San Diego. Denver, Colorado. Brandy, Jason, born in 1970. Marcy's a boomer.
Hell yeah.
Valini's from New York. We have Lisa in Australia. Welcome.
Welcome. You know, I was saying this. I do readings, as you guys know. I do readings on the phone, and I was doing a reading for a 17-year-old young man this last week, and it was great because he's never had a reading, but he's grown up because Gen Z has grown up with psychic mediumship shows all over. In Gen X's time, it was like once in a while on what were the talk shows back then? Phil Donahue.
Oh yeah, Phil Donahue.
There would be or some news segment would do a segment on a psychic medium.
Right.
Now, of course, you can watch it on regular television streaming. You can watch it on YouTube. You can watch these two amazing people on Sunday nights. So anyway, I was talking to him, and he was very into the generation thing until I kind of like flipped it for him, because he would say nothing negative towards the older generations, but I could tell that he could go there if I kind of like egged him on. Anyway, he was really surprised that I knew things that were not in my generation, which was fine. But then he like chuckled when I said, when Gen Alpha comes up, and he started laughing because then he started making fun of Gen Alpha, which is like he's 17, so whoever's 5 and 6. And I said, it's going to be interesting. I said, when your music is old, and that's going to give it about 3 years. And he stopped for a second. I said, it's interesting. I said, Gen Alpha is going to really benefit from all the things you guys, Gen Z, invents. He's like, that's right. I said, just like you're benefiting from all the stuff that Gen X invented. like YouTube.
And the boomers can say that.
And the boomers say it for us. We are benefiting from what they did. So, speaking of timelines, it's just one never-ending stream of consciousness. Psychic work. How do I do these readings? I don't know. I'm just going to give you what I have experienced out there, up the mountain, down the valley, under the water.
Right.
I think that the entire scope of reality is a mystery ultimately, but I can just share my tales from the road as a psychic, meaning my experiences in life. And it started for me when I was 7 years old, as you well know and have heard 100,000 times. But I don't think it ever gets old, because every day people are starting to reach out to me and say, I think I'm having psychic experiences. And it's not that you're supposed to be a psychic, because that's another level. Like, everybody can throw a ball straight, maybe, if they practice, but it doesn't mean they can play on a team, right? Professionally. Leave that to the professionals. Leave that to the people who really dedicate their lives to it. But you can, and you do have a sixth sense. And this is the portal, your third eye. It has been referenced in so many cultures around the world, not just in Indian culture, like the culture I come from my genetic lineage this time. But this is important for you guys to practice meditation. That's the key. Quieting your mind. Why is quieting your mind preferable to techniques or kind of, I don't want to say techniques are important, but there's no secret magic word. There's no strange secret to this. It's you quiet your mind and you begin to understand that there are frequencies of higher resonance, and those are your guides. Thus the universe speaking to you, and there's a way to tune into that, and you can navigate your life much, much better. So tonight, without getting further into that, do you have a second trivia question you want to ask? Yeah,
actually, I wanted to know, and this is like totally not even connected at all to what you just talked about.
Okay.
So then I second guess, I actually am not going to say that question right now, because I actually want to stick to what we're talking about.
Isn't it funny? Then the mind immediately wants to know, what was that? You ever have friends say that to you? And they're like about to say something, you're like, what? They're like, no, never mind. I don't need to ask you that. And then now you have to know what that was.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I've been I've been in the metaphysical conversation. We've both been for many, many years. And it's really interesting, because if you listen to the way speakers, seers, psychics, and people out there in the world that are sharing their wisdom and what they see in the universe and the cosmos, what they're channeling, some of it overlaps, some of it's similar, and then some of it is way different. And you can, people want to know what's the right or wrong in creation. What's the right or wrong? What's the real way? What's real? What is reality? And, this whole universe, everything that we're doing, especially on this planet, is all reality construction. So we are creating our realities here. And it's a deeper topic, and it's about self-creation. And this is something you guys, as beginners or as advanced people that are listening, are going to find out, and you're going to understand that this is all about learning how to self-create. Now, as far as the metaphysical world goes, when you go into the cosmos and you talk about planetary systems, and you talk about dimensions, and you talk about interplanetary things, and you talk about species, most channelers and most psychics will kind of line up with what they're experiencing, what they see, because it's just like universal, kind of a universal consciousness. Sometimes there'll be people that'll step outside of that and say something different, like they'll tell stories of different species or different things that are going on. So one time I asked Red Eagle, who Riz channels and has channeled thousands and thousands of times in front of the public audiences, and people ask questions, and one of the questions I asked was, well, which one is right? which one is the right story, which one is the right species, and which one is this and this. First of all, his answer was, first of all, there's no set number on species because it's ongoing. Species are developing and
there are other dimensions in which
discovered. Yeah, so it's ongoing. There's no number. So if you go online on the internet and see a number of species, these are the number of species. There's about so many universes going on that we know about that are like the stars in the sky, like the sand in the ocean. Like there's so many.
And those are physical, what we call physical universes. So when it comes, bring it full circle when it comes to spirit guides. Like for me, the way that I read, one can say I can do a spirit guide reading where I hear what the guides say. And then there's myself as a psychic medium, which I'm tuning in. Like I'm in a sense the guide at that moment. But all of it is, for me when I do the readings tonight, what comes to me. Now here's what's interesting, because a lot of people ask questions. Obviously we can't get to everyone. But because you and I and Erica have been in psychic work for so long together, you know what questions to pick to give to me, because I never see the screen. I don't know anyone's name. I prefer it that way. All I need is a first name, obviously. Mm-hmm. But tonight, I'll just go really quick with what the readings are like. If you're joining us for the first time, you can type in your question. The readings are absolutely free. If you would like to make a donation and do a super chat, thank you, but it does not bump you to the top of the line. And because we want to make it just, open and fair for everyone to ask a question. So if we're feeling it, we will get to the question. And it's what we're drawn to. We're not like picking people. It's just what speaks to us. Okay, let's go there with that question. So if we don't get to you tonight, eventually we will. Sometimes people wait a few episodes to get their question answered.
Yes.
It's not just mediumship. So if it is mediumship, and I'm sure Erica's putting it in the chat description, I'll just say it so you guys hear it from me. Your first name, your real first name, the person who's passed on, their first name, and when they passed on. That's all. And then if there's a message for you, I'll give it. If there isn't, I'll say, sorry, I'm not getting anything at this time. But usually there is.
Yeah.
But so it's not just mediumship. You can ask about your toe. You can ask about someone else's toe. You can ask about rainbows.
And empath
unicorns.
Stuff.
And hey.
So if you have any questions regarding your energetic and spiritual awakening, what you're experiencing in your body as you're going through a death rebirth cycle, as you're going through the ascension process, as you are experiencing yourself anew and you don't recognize what you see in the mirror, or who you see, or what is happening, and you're confused, or you need more information, or you just like to know if certain sensations are normal in the ascension process, I can help you with that. And we can go into detail about how to help you to feel more comfortable, how to feel comfortable in your environment, things like that. So there's so many different areas in the empathic arena that we can go into. Also, Riz does mediumship and also tunes into animals. He'll also tune into your spirit animals. If you have any questions about who is guiding you in the spiritual realm, like as far as animal totems, he's also can help you to find out who, you already said what spirit guide is working with you, so you can ask about that. Also, don't be afraid to ask simple questions like, what color should I be working with right now? What crystal should I be working with right now? A lot of people ask about jobs, but sometimes you can ask more about, I've been feeling like I want to do something with my hands. What do you see for me in regards to
this
what
is great. I'm so glad you're saying this.
Yeah, because this is really where it comes down to. Is like, I remember a story I wanted to share about a question I asked one time when I came to the end of a big spiritual rebirth section of my life, and I was kind of at a plateau, and I felt like I did so much, and I felt so renewed, and I felt like I was going in the right direction, but then I couldn't find any door to enter into the next arena. Like, where do I go from here? What job do I do next? What career? What passion? What hobby? I didn't know what to do, because I felt like I had done so much and I was just at this standstill.
Right.
So I asked Red Eagle, and he said, meditate on the color turquoise, or the stone turquoise, and that color. that brought up so much for me. I said, how did you know about that color? How did you know about that stone? That is my favorite stone. I mean, not just favorite, but it's one that I don't talk about. It's one that has deep meaning for me because I have many Native American past lives, and I really felt that. And that led me on a long journey of finding clothes and jewelry, which led me to making my own clothes and jewelry. And I ended up opening my own fashion line based on the color turquoise. That's what guided me there. It took almost 2 years for it to manifest. So you don't know if a color can guide you somewhere. You don't know if a flavor, a sound, working with your hands.
That is so good.
You don't know.
Right, because people ask me all the time. They don't ask me, but they'll bring up, what do my spirit guides want me to do?
Yes.
What do my spirit guides say I'm supposed to do?
Because they don't know how to
How come my spirit guides didn't stop that thing from happening? That's not the job of your spirit guides. Let's drop in what the spirit guide's job is. The spirit guides, who have traveled with you, some of them through other lifetimes, their job is to help you connect, first of all, see the dots and connect the dots and understand how to tune into the more subtle frequencies of your life creation. Now, when I say subtle frequencies, people go, oh, I have to be very, very, very careful. I go, no, you just have to be very quiet in your mind. There are people who are very quick physically, but their mind is very still. Just watch the Olympics and you'll see that. You have to have a very still mind to accomplish those things that require speed, strength. They require grace also. So this is how I do readings for myself. We play music. Sometimes I meditate traditionally.
Right.
Sometimes I got to dance, I got to play, I got to rock out, I got to do something.
People don't know exactly why they need to meditate other than making the mind still or quieting the mind. But there's more reasons why one would meditate.
Yes.
Should we go into it?
I think we should jump into readings because I have some spirit shout-outs, but why don't we at some point take a break and talk about that? And because I'm feeling the guides here. Red Eagle has been allowing the guests in. So I'm going to start off with spirit shout-outs. If you've been on this show before, you know exactly what I'm talking about. For those of you who are joining us for the first time, spirit shout-outs are when I get some messages from my guides that are very specific. I do them throughout the evening, 3 at a time. They are usually a specific piece of information that's connected to somebody who's watching right now. And, okay, so let's go for it. I just want to jump in right now. The first thing is someone who's here on the other side who left a bunch of commemorative pins. That's something that, it feels like from a generation ago. Commemorative pins is almost like they collected this either at maybe state fairs or Disney World, and they're a little bit maybe about that big, and you put them in your lapel, but they left them in a little box, and they're coming through to talk about that. The other person, this is interesting, had some connection, and I'm going to use this term kind of loosely, to the Kennedy administration. John F. Kennedy. So meaning I don't know, maybe they worked for them, and then I'm going to go to the other end of it, maybe had a big poster of JFK in their house or a painting, or met them once and they shook their hand. But there's somebody here who crossed over that was doing that, that had that happen in their life, and that's connected to you. And then there's a nickname. To me, it sounds like, I almost want to say AC or a Basie. Count Basie? I don't know. Something like that. AC, Basie. Anyway, it's not Stacy. It's not Lacey. It's like something unusual. There's a nickname. Now, I don't know if that's that person's name or it's in your family, but those are the 3 spirit shout-outs for now. And let's go to the first question.
Okay, so the questions, there's one empath question and one psychic question for you. So which order would you like to go in?
Go and do the empath question.
Okay, so how do I know the difference between timelines and past life visions? So a past life vision is just that. You're actually seeing and feeling and experiencing a past life. So in other words, for me, I remember being an Irish man, and I could feel I used to drink a lot, and I was it was in the 1500s, and I was just slovenly, and it was just anyway, there was just a lot of details to that lifetime, and I could feel that life, and I know it happened, but that lifetime is separate from the current lifetime I'm in now. The current lifetime I'm focused on now is Oriah, Lady O. Where I'm at now is where I can experience timeline jumping. So it's not the same thing as past life. Now, in your past life, you can do timeline jumping, but timeline jumping is when it's a form of making new decisions and reinventing yourself. So you're making a new decision. So instead of being fearful of doing the thing you've always wanted to do in this particular timeline currently, you'll say, I'm not fearful of that anymore. I'm going to make that decision. I'll either marry that person, or I'll take that job, or I'll go travel to that place, or I'll invent that thing. And then when you go do that thing, you literally are changing the course of history of the many times before as yourself now that you've attempted to do that thing and you couldn't do it. And you tried many, many times.
So is it like, it's what you're saying, it's like course correction?
Course correction. And then you end up reinventing yourself. Because it's an automatic experience. So you're timeline jumping, you're creating a new reality, new frequencies will come into your life that match you. People, places, things, and jobs will match where you're at now, because now you've upgraded yourself to a new conversation. It's a form of upgrading your DNA also.
Ooh.
Okay.
Upgrading the DNA. And are you going to drop the mic on upgrading the DNA? Damn.
That's right.
All right.
That's how we roll.
All right. Before I go to the first question, anything, E, with Spirit Shadows yet? Okay. All right. Let's continue. First question.
Okay, Nicole.
And let's do the first timers first, if you guys are.
Nicole Valami. I've received guidance to move apartments. Not sure if I have a roommate or go solo. Also, no idea where to find them. Any guidance from Spirit Team?
Where to find the roommates?
Yes.
Or if she should even have roommates.
I'm not even feeling roommates. No, go the extra mile for yourself right now, because there's a deeper message going on for you, Nicole, here. It is that allow yourself to be upgraded by the upgraded lifestyle choice, meaning you don't say to yourself at this point in life, in Nicole, so this is like, I'm reading into where your energetic is right now and what, it's almost like what it needs. So you stepping into an upgraded life experience then upgrades you back, meaning, I'll make it simple. Someone goes, okay, I could get this car for X amount of money every month, and then this other one is a bit more, but man, it's so much nicer, and it's going to be, a little bit of a chunk of change for me to do that every month. And I go, okay, so if you're going to take that more expensive item per month, energetically, you have to allow that more expensive item to then make you feel more abundant. So you own it. Like, you don't just own it physically, you own it spiritually. So you start to become that. When people go, man, I put these clothes on, I feel like $1 million. I feel like everything's radiating towards me. It's the same principle of energy. Okay? So you don't go into it going, oh my God, okay, I would really like to live alone, but how am I going to handle that? I mean, it's going to be more of a struggle every month. Don't do that, because then it will be. You have to say to yourself, that's going to take me to the next level of how I want to feel and how I want to be. It's going to make me stronger mentally, physically, spiritually, happier, more at peace, more creative, more free, more feeling in your own power and your own truth. So I feel that that's a stronger choice for you right now. And sometimes roommates are great because there's all sorts of new experiences, but that's not what I'm feeling right now for you. Okay? All right.
Okay, so you ready for the next one?
Yes.
Okay, Aaron Seeley. Hi, Lady O and Riz.
Hi,
I'm
Aaron.
wondering if you have any insight into what I'm experiencing. I wake up in the morning feeling like my nervous system was put in an electrical socket.
I got you. Yeah.
And I'm having bad dreams.
Number one is that your ritual before bed, here's what I would suggest. An hour before you're going to go to sleep, this is the time to power down slowly. Please start with a bath or shower, whatever you like. I'd absolutely, and I still do this, guys, even though I'm a channeler and I'm a medium and a psychic, I still have my rituals. I still have the things that I know are part of my way of living that cover all my bases. So crystal sea salt in your shower is good. It's scrub. Not only is it a physical scrub, but it's actually a spiritual scrub. Salt is very purifying spiritually, and I would you just rub it on yourself with whatever cleanser you're using, and take deep breaths in the shower and really allow the water energy at night to purify you. And then prepare your sleep area beforehand, right? Meaning, so it's welcoming and warm and inviting, just the right temperature that you like, just the right textures and fabric, just the right lighting, and some meditative music. I would say about an hour before you sleep to kind of quiet everything down. So not a lot of TV right before you go to sleep, not at this stage. And you can have some of your crystals next to you. I would suggest rose quartz is wonderful, and maybe some selenite somewhere, just kind of cleanse the energies. You could sage a little bit. You could burn some frankincense a little bit. You can learn how to do all these things on YouTube. I'm sure there's a gazillion videos that show you how to do this. But it is about creating that space where your bed becomes this portal, doesn't it, right? For all of us, this is where we leave the body and experience the astral realm. And what I'm getting with you is that you are quite a speedy traveler, where these dreams and experiences that you're having in dream time they feel very jumbled to me. They don't feel linear. As you become to more experienced in quieting your mind before sleep, your dreams will become, in a sense, more linear, meaning you'll remember the dream, you'll remember the narrative, and the imagery and symbolism won't be as confusing. So this is very good. Practice some deep breathing. I would say about 5-10 minutes will do you. That's the great thing about YouTube. You find so many things that you can just get for free. People are willing to teach it to you, and you just have to find the right person, right? Because there's a million videos out there, but you have to find it. And then I would do guided meditation. There's a gentleman I recommend that we love. His name is Jason Stevenson on YouTube. I love his guided sleep meditations. You just put in your earbuds. Last but not least, I'm giving our whole protocol right here, but it's what's coming.
A lot of people can benefit from it, and I have a few things I want to throw in there too.
Please. And none of these things you have to do for long periods of time, but this is what changes your life. This is what these practices make the days now more meaningful. They don't go too fast and they don't go too slow when you start to hone in on and drop into your spiritual practice. Now, that doesn't mean that you have to do it every single night. If you don't do it, everything's going to go bad. I don't want you to become addicted to these things, that these are the things that the only way to have this. But practices are, we brush our teeth, don't we? You don't necessarily have to brush your teeth every day, but I think it's good for you and for others around you if you do. So these things that I'm saying to you are kind of like brushing your teeth. Light stretching before bed. Just go on the floor, the space next to your bed, stretch those hamstrings, stretch that neck, and do some kind of tapping work, which I teach my students, which is just moving the lymphatic system through. This is very good for the vagus nerve, by the way. You guys can learn this. Is something that I teach my students, is you take your fingers and you tap here for 2 minutes straight. And if you don't know what the vagus nerve is, VAGUS, look it up. So that's what I would say to you, and that's going to definitely work for you to bring this down at least 50-60% of the challenges you're facing in the night.
Overall, it's like what he's basically saying, and I could add a long list as well. It's basically, we're saying that you are upgrading your way of seeing life and yourself. So it's going into a higher state of consciousness for yourself. Also, I would add not to constantly spook yourself, scare yourself with bad news, scary things. Don't like watching the news, for instance.
There's also, never anything good, no good news,
and also,
that's for sure.
Taking things too personal and too serious will also sap your nervous system, and not having a sense of humor and perspective. And these are all conversations that we've broken down into the micro, and we've actually put that on our main page. We've had conversations in each one of these areas that we just mentioned in great detail, and we'll talk about.
There's some supplements I like also. I like really good high quality krill oil. Fish oil, but krill oil is really good for you. Also, ashwagandha before bed is very nice. Okay, next one. You got something for me?
I do.
All right, spirit shout out.
So, Jackie, her mother Rebecca passed in September of 2023.
Mm-hmm.
She left a collection of different pins.
Thank you.
Some were political pins and buttons.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you. Isn't it amazing how people who are tuning in, it's so specific, right? But your loved ones, after a while, they get the hang of what you're into, and they're like, oh, she watches that Medium on Sunday nights. I'm going to go over and say hello.
Right.
And this is how they do it. Sometimes they do say their names, and sometimes they show something that's meaningful. So her name is Vanessa?
Jackie.
And the mother's what? Where am I coming up with Vanessa? Is there a Vanessa who's watching? Okay. Rebecca is the mom who passed away.
Yes.
And this is only a year ago, because we're coming up on September. So this is kind of, we're coming up on the year, Jackie. And, you know, that those pins were, the message is not about the pins. She kind of introed with that. But they did obviously mean something to her. And thank you. So she really believed in, it's like her moral compass was the most important thing for her. And now that she's on the other side, I'm going to tell you the way I'm getting it, she's a lot more open. So things that she thought were, well, that's really bad and that's really wrong, it's now like, now I see how that fits into the puzzle of life and why those things happen and why. And so she got that big awakening on the other side. But she loves your hair. Are you going to do something with your hair? She's kind of going like this. That's why I know, because sometimes they'll touch the hair of the person. So I don't know. Usually means either you did something with your hair or you're about to do it. But oh, no, she said, no, you're beautiful. That's what it is. Thank you. Hey, do you know that I know something in American Sign Language? It's this. It's this.
What does that mean?
This means you're beautiful, I think. If I'm correct, please let me know if you know ASL. It's this, and then I think you point.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
We're beginning to get an answer for the Kennedy shout out, but I don't think Erica's gotten all the way through with that question. So we're working on that.
Waiting for Donna to give her grandmother's name and when she talks.
Okay.
Okay, so question.
Let's go.
This is from Rebecca. I had asked.
We just did that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yasmin.
You didn't just do Rebecca. That was the grandmother, right?
Oh, Jackie was the person.
Yeah.
Okay, so isn't that weird? So Rebecca comes through to give the message, and the next message is for someone named Rebecca.
Yes.
Wild. Okay.
Okay.
Is that right?
Yeah, I think so. Well, let's see. Let me ask the question. I had asked if I could get a message from my mom, Rebecca, who passed in September 2023. That's the same one.
Sorry.
Her name is Jackie. Okay. Next one is Yasmin. What was the purpose of the argument I had today? I never argue. It left a heavy feeling in my chest I can't get rid of. Yeah,
it literally feels like a bullet hole when you said that. It feels like you got shot with a BB gun. I don't like it. What was the purpose? Let me look into it. I want to give you something specific. I mean, I know the purpose of all arguments. It kind of clarifies where people are at, but you have to be able to see into that. You know, I call some of this argument, I call it a call for love or a call to love. It feels, I feel this chasm that this person is feeling. And they tend to just see things as north, south, east, or west at the moment. And they're having to learn how to see that there are all these micro directions in between north and east and north and west and south and all of that. And you took it too personally is also what I'm getting. You see, if someone goes, how am I taking it too personally when they're literally saying something about me, against me? And it's like, because it's not really actually about you. It's something that's triggered within them that you did or didn't do, said or didn't say, and then you can work from there. So that's what I feel it was about. Okay.
Okay, so I have Donna's grandmother. Her name is Pauline.
Donna's grandmother's name, Pauline.
She passed away several years ago. She doesn't know the exact year.
Mm-hmm.
But her brother worked in the Kennedy White House.
Amazing. Her brother worked in the Kennedy, but is the brother passed on? Because that's the person who is here.
The grandmother.
Oh, so the grand uncle.
Yeah. But she said.
So does the grand uncle who worked in the Kennedy administration that would be a cousin to you of some sort? Do you know their kids or their descendants? Because he's trying to get a message through to them of love and support. That, hi, I'm still around. Let me know about that. Amazing how.
She said yes. I'm not sure.
Okay, yes means that he's passed on. Yeah, because I told you it was a man on the other side. Yeah, so he's saying hello to the family and he's around and a very, very loving, supportive force for those of his direct descendants. you of course are, but you're not exactly coming from him because he's not your grandfather, he's your grand uncle. So, but he loves you too, and he's saying hi.
There's some comments in the chat. Is that in reference to what he's talking about?
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Let's keep going.
Okay, so somebody said, you also did a spirit shout out a few weeks ago about the Doobie Brothers song from my mom, and I told you that it was the first concert my mom had taken me to. She obviously knows I listen to y'all. Laugh out loud.
What's crazy, that's Jackie, that's Rebecca.
Oh,
so
okay.
Rebecca has this come through before and a spirit shout out, so she just made another
People are going to be mad. They're like, how come her family's all getting the spirit shout outs? We don't know. They push to the front of the line. Ask your relatives to push to the front of the line. Okay, let me continue. Oh, no, you continue. Let's go to the next couple of questions.
Okay, Colleen, any suggestions for noise sensitivity?
That's a you question.
You don't want to hear my answer.
Tell everyone to shut up.
You want to know my answer? How do you deal with noise sensitivity?
Tell everyone to shut up.
Remove yourself, dear. Lower the volume. Get away from it. You are recalibrating, so you have to give yourself permission to have silence. Too much media noise, outside noise, drilling of your own thoughts into your brain noise. You're tired of it all, and you are just wanting a break, a reset. This is a good time to do silent retreats. Good time to do long walks.
Ooh.
Good time to do...
Talk about what a silent retreat is.
Or what about the...
it's called Vipassana. Or Vipassana. But it is you can go away for 3 days. They usually have an option, 3 days or 10 days. Vipassana is spelled Vipassana. Vipassana. Because Indians are good at spelling, apparently.
Okay, you get 10 points for that.
Oh, thank you. So look it up. Sorry, go ahead.
So... yes, you have to honor that. When your body is saying too much noise, it's your nervous system actually saying that. And then that's connected to your higher consciousness. And your higher consciousness is actually saying, enough, need a break. I've actually went through a time period where I had to wear earplugs, those little soft, noise cancellation earplugs.
That's true, yes.
I wore them constantly, even during the day. For years, off and on, because it was too much noise everywhere. People were talking too loud. Everything was too loud. I couldn't take it. And that's because I was resetting my entire nervous system. I was recalibrating. And so I needed to give myself time and permission for that. And so I would go to the beach and sit there on the sand and stare at the ocean.
I noticed that even in the time period when you were wearing those earplugs, every time I said that you look beautiful, you heard that though.
Selective hearing through the noise cancellations. Yes, indeed.
All right, let's keep going.
Okay, so Tamara German, what is my dominant gift?
I love that phrasing, actually, because it means that what is the... Well, I'm going to actually add to that. I want to tell you a little story, Tamara. I get asked a lot about how do I get to do the thing that I love to do? And I always like to say it's not necessarily about the thing that you love to do, but the thing that you're cut out to do. And then people go, oh, no. You mean I have to stay stuck at this job because I'm good at it? And I go, no. The job is just tapping into something that you're good at. What are you cut out for? Not everybody is cut out to be... People can be amazing musicians, but it doesn't mean that they're cut out to be a touring musician, because it can wreck you. You can be wonderful in the studio and make wonderful songs, but then you have to go out on the road for 10 months, and not everybody's built for that. I mean, these people who are out on the road for all the pop stars and the rock bands, they're made of something. They're cut out for it, the ones that survive it, right? So I want you to look into... Oh, and by the way, the message I'm getting is your support and your voice. Your support and your voice is your dominant gift. The voice, I don't necessarily mean your physical voice, but your presence in how you articulate yourself. That is what I'm seeing here. Also, I have a question. What is your, I know just a question, but your guide is asking me to address this. How are you with dogs? Are you able to, have you ever trained your own dog? Have you ever been able to teach one to sit or to stand or to walk or to to kneel or go down. Just curious. The reason I ask is because I'm getting from one of your guides that you had a lifetime where you were an animal whisperer. I'm not saying it's meant for this life because you've already done it, but just curious about that, if that makes any sense to you. But that's my answer to your question.
Okay. John Super. Hi, guys. Any messages from my spirit guides? Much appreciated.
Yeah. Hi, John. Thank you for watching. The first thing that comes to me is, number one, it would be very good for you to do anything that stretches out your spine in the morning. I'm going to give you a couple of messages. So you could be hanging from a bar, grab a bar and hang and really let your spine elongate. If you have a swimming pool, go into the deep end of the pool where you're on a floaty and and I do this actually, and then let your body dangle and let that spine decompress. Okay. Did you have an accident or something that triggered what I'm talking about? It's kind of like mid back is where I feel it in you, where I feel like energy stopping. Number two, it is the construction period of your life, meaning this is the time where you have all the tools out and you have all the you have the plans, and they don't need to be exact, but you're like, okay, I'm going to build this now. And of course, I'm not talking, well, we could be talking about a physical something that you put together, but it's really about the layout of your life, because I see a very big life change coming in March of next year for you. And this is where you really break out, bust out, a lot of things start to finally gel and crystallize in your mind. So you're kind of probably sensing that already, that this is something like that is going on, but it's like your vision is going to expand now. I really, really like this for you. Also, are you doing anything in a formal education to formally educate yourself in some way, meaning like get a degree in something or certification in something? Because I see that's also important now.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just posting real quick. If anybody wants to join us in Sedona, by the way, I have no choice, but I have to just talk about this in between because we got so much going on. You guys have to squeeze everything in. So I'm just putting the link if anybody's interested in joining us next March. Okay, so next person.
I got a couple of spirit shout outs if you don't mind before I go to the next question.
Let's do it.
Okay. This person this is a mediumship. Thank you. So they're connected to either the name Barney or Barnaby. That might be a last name, Barney or Barnaby. That name is connected to this person. Yes. Number two. Somebody watching, you recently just had something like literally removed right here from their nose, and I don't know whether it was you had a mole removed or you had a little biopsy. I don't know. It's like right here somewhere, and they're showing me. And now if it's not you, then they had this done, but they're doing it to me right now. Sometimes the person on the other side will literally come and touch a part of me, and then I have to convey that to you. And third, where'd you just go? Livy, the name Livy is connected to them. I just work here, guys. I just deliver the messages. Sometimes they say things I don't even know what I'm saying. Livy. Yeah, Livy. I don't think it's Libby. It could be, but Libby. Okay.
Yay.
All right.
Lawana is booked for the March retreat, and she is going to be joining us. Yay. We can't wait.
Welcome.
So as far as we're having a little side conversation here about recalibration of the body. We're still talking about that. It's a little side theme.
Okay.
So I was just mentioning that a lot of people didn't know that when your ears ring on the inside, many times you are you're recalibrating your ability to hear interdimensionally, to be able to hear your guides, to be able to hear the other side. So when you hear that high-pitched frequency, now, of course, there's that whole
Tinnitus?
Yes.
No, this is spiritual
physical 3D
tinnitus.
side that you have to go take care of and go look at. But if that's ruled out, so yes, you should pay attention to that, because I used to, I realized I could track it back whenever I would have that type of high pitch ringing or frequency adjusting. It's almost like you're hearing like little FM dials changing. When I used to hear that, I would stop everything and kind of reverse engineer and think back to what did I say or do recently in the last week or so that got me to this place. And there was always, I had a recalibration or an adjustment where I was taking on new information and I was changing the way I saw things and perceived things. And I noticed that my hearing started changing. And I thought that was fascinating. And now I understand fully why, because yes, you become more sensitive, and you're actually, because your body is a machine, it's a mechanism.
Right, because some people,
it's
when
engineering
they're,
at its best, right?
Some people, when they're having their upgrade psychically, some things they feel their fingertips buzzing, or they also will feel like something somewhere else in their body. So the hearing is also a part of that. It happened to me, by the way, and I don't have that little ringing in my ear. It probably happened for about 3 to 4 months.
Yeah, because it doesn't happen to me either anymore.
Yeah, before I popped through and started giving messages many years ago, children. Yes, okay.
All righty then.
Yes, got some questions for me? Got any shout outs for me yet?
I do.
Was there something about a nose?
Yes.
What was the nose?
That there was something on, so the spirit just kind of touched me over here and was like, something was either removed or, I don't know, sometimes maybe someone did like, you know, when you do a biopsy, they scoop a little bit of your skin, or I don't.
There's someone named Chantal. They had surgery on their nose in 2020.
But was something taken off of no, I don't think that's it.
Okay. Oh, Colleen. I had surgery on my nose to remove cancer in that exact spot.
Thank you. That's what it is. Okay. Very specific. Is this a Colleen that has been on with us before?
Yes.
This feels like grandmother Colleen. You have so much support, Colleen, because I know you've been on chat with us before, and I know I've given spirit shout-outs that have matched you, which is amazing, which means that you're constantly getting the stream of support, that you're loved and supported, and that you have free reign and foundation to like just kind of go for it now, whatever it is that you want to go for. Okay? All right.
Alrighty then. Okay, so we have now Stephanie. I need a breakthrough. I like how she says it. I need a breakthrough or big change soon, and I'm not sure how. Can you connect with the higher guidance for me, please? First of all, I just want to say I like the way she asked that question.
Of course.
Because she's like ready to punch through a wall and say like, I'm done.
She's already punching through.
I love it.
Yeah, that statement in and of itself, like for us, when we feel that, it's like, okay, so
I need a breakthrough now.
And who are you telling?
That's right.
Are you telling us, or are you telling yourself?
That's correct.
Maybe you're having the breakthrough. Maybe you saying, I need a breakthrough right now is actually the breakthrough. Maybe you think it's coming through words, but sometimes it comes through energy. Sometimes a person just needs to look at you and you feel they love you or they understand you without saying, I understand you and I love you. You just look at them for a second. Have you ever been at a party with a friend and something happens, you look over? So you don't even have to look over. Sometimes you know your friend saw the same thing you saw, and then you're like, oh, it's like shared telepathically. So yes. Okay, let me tell you the breakthrough. She said, I need a breakthrough. Can I get some? She said, I need a breakthrough Stephanie.
Or a big change soon, and I'm not sure how.
Stephanie, you don't wait for a big external change. You have far too much value. You have far too much value for you to then feel upgraded because of an external change. Of course, we love external changes. We love when things happen. We're on Earth. We're here to experience this 3D. But when it comes to your peace, your sanity, your tranquility, your actual surrender to what I would call your eternalness, that's your breakthrough, because then everything else is cake after that. Then there's no such thing anymore as I had a shitty day. There's no more bad days. I've had days where my loved ones died. I still didn't call it a bad day. I didn't call it a bad day. That's not what reflected the day.
You know what?
So I look at everything.
You said to me something one time, and it didn't make sense, and it just dawned on me right now.
Yeah.
Now I think I understand what you were saying.
Yeah.
You said, I don't like using the word breakthrough because it doesn't really encapsulate exactly the experience.
No.
And I was like, that was weird because I always use the word breakthrough. And so I just dawned on me right now that actually, instead of using the word breakthrough, what you're actually experiencing is what you want is more information. So
it's a realization,
Realization. You want epiphanies. You want outside of your thinking new ideas coming towards you. You want to experience more.
I would tell you, Stephanie, yeah, thank you. I'm just asking Red Eagle, and Red Eagle says yes. So Red Eagle is my guide. So I'm going to say this to you, is that when you ask for a breakthrough, be careful what you ask for, because it could happen from you breaking your legs. So don't ask for a breakthrough. You don't know how many people who are watching right now, their breakthroughs came from extreme trauma and pain.
Yeah.
So don't ask for that. Don't ask for a breakthrough. Right. Say, I am releasing, I'm ready now to do things despite my fear. Not in place of, like, now I don't have any fear and I have courage. Courage is just you do it anyway, even while you're afraid. That's what courage is, right? It's not the lack of fear. So this is a big statement you're making, and I just want to tweak it for you.
Yeah, because
I think you're ready to hear it. Yeah.
When we give answers and we give you guys messages, the reason we go into so much detail is we know there's somebody on the chat that this can benefit from, or you're learning from her answer. And that's how we go into we use these questions as examples.
As launching pads.
As launching pads for a lot of you guys to be able to hear new information that you haven't heard before. So the idea of breakthroughs becoming more of a realization and an adjustment in your life is more powerful because it seems less violent and seems less aggressive and tough and strong, like you have to break through concrete. Instead, which is where I usually come from as a Taurus, because everything is earth and grinding, but I've changed that, and now it's more, I'm going into more the ethereal side of me, which is more like, but maybe it was a thought,
and resting on the earth. So the earth side no longer is about the pushing of mountains, but becomes the gentle, serene mountain,
because the earth can hold water, and water can be still.
Yes.
And I've learned that.
So that's what I'm going to translate, and kind of, Stephanie, it's really good that you said what you said, because I can feel it reverberating through the community that watches this show, is that it's not about you're waiting for the breakthrough externally or internally. The breakthrough is your realization. It's your complete surrender to the perfection of everything that has ever happened, is happening, or will happen. The perfection of everything that has ever happened, and choose it, because you're going to have to include all the horrible shit as well, right? The bad feeling stuff. And then the present, what you think is not right. And then your ideas about what the future should be, could be, is supposed to be, hope, and then what you fear it might be. Enough. That's not your freedom lies when you cut all of that out. And you're 100% settled into the gratitude of the immense, powerful, I want to say explosive in a good way, gratitude. Okay, next.
If we can,
you got a spirit shout out, I can tell.
Question: is Libby someone on the other side?
I don't know.
You don't know.
By the way, is the nose?
Yeah, we handled it.
Shout out complete.
Yeah, we handled it.
Because people are still coming in and asking a lot of questions about it.
There's so many people that have had
nose things.
The nose surgery with something removed. So
well, I'll be specific. It was something that was taken off the top. It's not a nose job. It is not a deviated septum thing.
But that topic is complete.
You're right.
But the topic is complete.
A lot of people have had the same cancer removal thing, like the same.
Oh, really?
I'm just wondering if you can say something about the spiritual meaning of the nose.
The nose knows.
Like, there's, what is that?
The nose knows.
Well, people say you win by a nose, right? So it's a thing that reaches.
Puns are there for nose? Does anybody know?
Who knows?
Puns? Nobody knows.
I don't know.
That was really bad.
I used to know, but
really couldn't be avoided. It couldn't be avoided.
Knowing is not knows. Okay, never mind. I think I blew it.
Please don't ever say it again now.
Oh,
my Virgo rising is kicking in at this moment. Extreme, like nope. Okay. Let me move on. I got a couple.
Okay, but I do have a Livy.
Yes, tell me.
So, Jennifer D, her daughter's name is Livy.
Oh, wow.
She's so...
Is this Jennifer D that sent us the birthday present?
Yeah, actually I think it is. Yeah.
Jennifer, how wild is that? Your daughter's Livy?
Yeah, her name is Olivia, but she goes by Livy.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, there's an older gentleman here. I don't know if Jennifer has lost her dad, but meaning Jennifer's dad, not Livy's dad.
She has a lot of family on the other side.
She has a lot of family on the other side. Okay, so anyway, they're just saying hello and love to her, and that for her to know, and you can show this to her, that there are very magical forces guiding her in life, and that not everything is supposed to be black and white, as people say, and it's not all about death and taxes, and there's so much more magic to this existence. And make sure, Jennifer, that you share that with her. Okay? Good. All right.
Okay, and next person is Marcy Buck. Erica, I've never had a question answered before. What's my spirit guide's name? Do they have a message? Thank you.
Hi, Marcy. Yes, you do have many spirit guides, and thank you for your question. I'm just going to drop it and see what we've got here with the message. So she said, "Who are my guides, and what is?"
What's my spirit guide's name?
Okay,
do they have a message for me?
You have a spirit guide, and I'm going to spell the name out for you. It's ROWENA. What did you say? Rowena. She's your guide right now in. For you to understand how to process, what she's working with you right now is how to process your memories and your memory itself. So two things: memories of understanding how to have your memories empower you rather than take you down, and interesting, improving your, this is interesting, maybe this is specific to you, is your eye-hand coordination as well. So doing things, she wants you to do things that are going to sharpen your eye-hand coordination, which could be so many different things, right? I mean, my favorite would be that it's some sort of a game that you play. Oh, interestingly enough, guys, people have said to me over the years, oh, what part of the brain is psychic? Is it the left side of the brain or the right side of the brain? It has nothing to do with the brain. It has everything to do with the expansion of your consciousness. But I would say that what does help to expand your consciousness and help you relax more if you're going to do something through the body in order to expand your psychic self is to become more ambidextrous. So learn how to do things with your left hand that you would normally do with your right, and remind yourself in the day, notice how many times you're just constantly using one dominant hand or side over the other, and force yourself, guys, to at least once or twice a day do it with the other hand. So you're stirring the pot, and even you're stirring your coffee, use the other hand. Stir the spoon counterclockwise. The activation for your brain and the things that it fires up in your brain, the synapses, neurons, and the neuroplasticity that it benefits that. There also is a metaphysical, I have found as a psychic, metaphysically it helps me because it makes me aware. So as a psychic, most of us as people, we're just aware of this space in front of us, like this, right? Like the spectrum on your phone. It shows you how many bars you've got. It goes like this. Mine goes all the way around as a psychic. So many times I could be sitting and consciously I'm trying to feel like what's back here or what's at an angle behind my head. And I teach people this in my psychic exercises. And of course, it's expanding your psychic awareness. And sometimes when you do things that are physical to expand your physical awareness, meaning stretch your body in different ways and have, this is good for you also, is do free movement, which means it's not a specific kind of dance. It's that you're moving your body freely to music, but it's a lot harder than it sounds because you tend to start to go into the dance moves your body has been mechanically doing over the years. But free movement is to move it in different ways. And so that is what she wants you to do. I think she's kind of she has kind of like a gypsy Romanian kind of flavor to her. So she's your guide. Good?
Yep.
Any confirmations? You're staring so intently.
There's lots of things.
Do you have a comic book in front of the laptop or something that you're looking at instead?
Comic book?
Yeah, that's what I
do not.
Okay. I had to go retro for that one.
Jennifer D says I was born left-handed. I'm not sure if that's related because there's a lot
I don't know.
that have been coming in. Oh, you said ambidextrous something. I was forced to use my right hand. I can do all things with my right and left. Marcy said, wow, Riz, I've been wanting to remember. Thank you all.
Marcy's, oh, wow. Marcy said she was wanting to remember. So this is the Rowena message, right? Okay, let's go to, do we have any first-timers out there who are asking questions?
I've been saying a lot of first-timers.
All right, let's go for some.
I have already been doing that.
All right, let's go.
Dear.
Let's go.
Okay, Valini. Hi, Lady O and Riz. I'm so happy I found you on my journey. I've been going through an awakening. Any messages from my guides would be appreciated. And what's my spirit animal?
Okay, so number one, what's the name again?
Okay, so it's Valini.
Valini. That sounds Indian. I think it is Indian. Okay. Number one thing I'm getting is this is the year, and actually it's already started for you, but the next year or two is about always saying why not rather than why, but also asking why should I do that? Meaning, where you ask why should I do that is if it's something that you've done so many times before. It's about you saying no to certain invitations of like, it's the same old group of friends wanting to do the same old thing, or let's have a night out, or it's like, no, not now. You're not in that stage. I do feel that during this awakening or ascension process, as it often does, it is going to shorten your current friend group. It's going to change the numbers. The number is going to go down. Not that you're judging people, not saying that you're better than anybody. It's just that you're on a different frequency and you're interested in things that are on that frequency, and you're focused on your own ascension and growth. So you're not like cutting anybody off, but some people are going to think that you are, and then you can try to explain it to them, but how are they going to take that anyway? Look, there comes a time where you graduate different experiences. It's not about you're better than someone. Not at all. So you're doing something different. What if you're playing a certain type of music, you don't want to play that anymore, you want to play that type of music? Well, they don't want to play that type of music, so what are you going to do? I have been a musician my whole life, so I do a lot of things that have to do with music and art. I love to talk about
and that was my cue into my next trivia question.
So wait, but I'm there. Okay,
but mark that.
But I got to finish her message.
Okay, but mark that what he just said.
Yes. So thank you. So look up some channelings by Archangel Metatron, Metatron. I always found that name so incredible because it makes you think of like the future or Tron or Meta, but that actually is a name from ancient times, which is incredible, right? Wow. That's one of your guides working with you right now. So this is also a good time to change up styles, Valini, which means that like colors you wouldn't normally wear, and say enough of that, like kind of clean out the wardrobe and say enough of this. This is not me. Why am I locked into this? It is so much about swinging to the other side for you. Okay? Good.
I want to say something about music, instruments, sound, and ears, since that seems to be a little bit...
Instrument, sound, and ears.
That seems to be a little theme going on right now.
Instruments, sound, and ears. See, when you do that, so what's happening is that instantly, before I even finish, something's happening to Erica. What happens is that she starts to get into the rhythm of it and it goes into her brain. And this is my music, instruments, sound, and ears.
I think it actually is doing something to you. But anyway, here's the trivia question for you guys. Or Riz says it's a poll, so I guess I'm saying it wrong. But I would like to know if you can play any instrument that you don't know already, or you wish you can play excellently, what would it be? I'll go first. The bass.
Really?
Bass guitar.
You know, you married someone for 10,000 years and you find out they want to learn how to play the bass.
I think I'd be a very good bass guitarist.
You know, so that's really, you look like you would play the bass in a band.
Soulful.
Doesn't she look like she would be a good bass player?
Deep. And I like to have the bass note and the rhythm of life. and I'm root chakra oriented, and must I go on? But anyway,
some foreign particles entered into my eye right now.
Okay, while
so
you're
that's why
taking
I'm rubbing it.
As you're taking care of your foreign debris. There was another thing I was going to talk about regarding the ear and calibration. Some people are saying that they hear. So this is not the 1960s anymore, so I'm allowed to say this. So sometimes people hear sounds and voices and music in their inner ear. And if you were in the 60s, you would institutionalize the person. But we've come a long way. So here's where we're at, and this is what we think it is. We believe that you're actually listening in because you're becoming more sensitive. And you're more open. Sometimes this happens a lot to people who have experienced a lot of trauma, because what happens is you're so broken open and you're so surrendered that you actually start to just hear things that are kind of in other dimensions. So you're kind of peering in and peeking in.
Absolutely.
And you could hear sounds. So somebody said they sometimes hear circus music. Guess what? I used to hear that back in the day when especially we lived in that house that was built by
gotta hear this story.
A circus.
So we found out. So she used to hear. She would say, "Why do I hear circus?" We moved into this old house. It was at that point that house was about 90 years old, and she used to say, "Riz, I hear circus. Do you hear that?" And I would say, "No, I wish I did." And then, of course, long story short, we found out that the guy who built that house owned 3 traveling carnivals that would go across the country.
Right.
How crazy is that?
Right.
It's not crazy. It's actually more sane.
So if you understand how psychic imprints work, if you understand how the paranormal and ghosts move in and out, or the unseen move in and out of a space, sometimes you have to distinguish. Some of them are coming in as visitors just walking through in this very real time. Other times you're actually in a loop. And when you're in a loop and you're in an energetic loop of an event, you will have multiple people seeing the same things for long periods of time.
So they call that an imprint haunting.
And that's energetically imprinted into the actual environment.
The fabric of that space.
The matrix of
Which is why you see, it's like the old proverbial story about, oh, come to this inn and you'll see the lady in white. She always comes to the balcony, waves, and goes back. She is
playing.
But wait a second. So I just want to explain that to them.
Yeah, the audio part.
So that they have a sighting, a ghost sighting, where the ghost does the same thing all the time. That is not the actual ghost. What you're seeing is, and I'm going to make it just short, but just understand that what you're seeing is an imprint. Some people call it a residual. I don't like that. It's just an imprint that was left. Meaning if you got up from where you're sitting right now, the cushion would have a dent where your butt was, and then after a while it would fade. Well, this is the same principle magnified by a billion, and the emotional imprint when that person would come and do that thing stayed there. So that's what they're saying.
Is going too fast for you all? I just checking in to make sure you understand. He's throwing a lot of concepts really fast. So I just want to make sure if you guys are staying on board.
I'll slow down if you need me to. Of course I will.
But I want to talk about the audio part.
Please.
So sometimes, like, there's people who have the different senses, like clairaudience and things. But there's people who have smelled, and we have smelled cigarette smoke, and we've heard sounds and chatter.
Yes.
So this actually does exist, and there are skill sets that you can have as a psychic that you can hear these things. It depends on how much you want to fine tune. But I want to address, somebody just said, sometimes I hear chatter when I'm meditating. And I wanted to say, does it sound like kind of like a very sophisticated, like high-end party scene, like glasses tinkling almost, like you hear people talking in like a giant room / auditorium level? That, you guys, that's the other side. You actually listening in. That is what it sounds like, and we are very used to it.
You are eavesdropping in the cafeteria.
If you keep turning it up, it'll get louder and louder, just like a radio control. You have to learn to turn it up and down. So if we really wanted to, we can hear it, because I was very fascinated for many years. I wanted to listen in, and I would hear these chatters and talking and people mingling, and that's you're literally listening into the other side, what they're doing on the other side.
It's incredible.
I think it's the main welcome room. It's the room where everybody comes in.
I call it the cafeteria.
Of course.
E, would you mind turning that fan off? No. Thank you. Okay, let's go to some more questions.
I like how we just dropped out of that. No segue. Okay, here we go. 540 Georgie. My name is Damien. Oh, that's the profile. Okay, my name is Damien. What stones should I work with?
No. Okay, thank you so much for... Oh, okay. I'm just looking. What is that stone you're showing to me? Well, absolutely, tiger's eye is number one for you, Damien. Okay, thank you. So you might have to look for this one. So there's a kind of quartz that some people call it blood quartz. Now let me explain it to you. Like, imagine like a clear quartz crystal, but then it looks like there's these red liquid in there, and it looks like blood sometimes.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, that's what they do is they put that quartz through a specific process, and it creates those red marks in it that people call blood quartz. It's actually fascinating to look at, and sometimes it just swirls in it. Now, I feel that why you need all different kinds of quartz. I would get like 3. I would get a clear quartz, I would get that blood quartz, and then of course my favorite, the smoky quartz. And you can actually put these on your body, lay there, and you probably already know this, Damien, but learn how to do it, and placing these in different parts of your body and seeing how does it affect you. Can you drop into where you feel it? And you could practice this with a friend. This is a message for you. You should practice with someone whom you know who would like to do this or has never done it before, and both of you explore this together. And it takes time. This is not something that happens overnight. Sometimes you feel it immediately, and sometimes a particular stone isn't you don't feel anything from it, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's not working on you. I take certain supplements and I don't necessarily feel it, but then you get your blood work done months later and it's like, oh, you fixed your levels. Oh, great. Okay, I'm glad that's balanced now. I see crystals I see them as vitamins practically. Yeah, I do see them like that. So that's there. You got one more for me?
Are you talking? Oh.
Yes. Okay, I got another one. It's the hematite. Hematite. So look into those. That's for like your interdimensional, I shouldn't want to say, excuse me, intergalactic kind of connection. Hematite is that silvery mineral that when you crack it again, oh, that's interesting, blood again. So I said the blood quartz, and then the hematite, inside it's like red inside the silver. I see that as very purifying for your physical body. I feel like you need to do a bit of a detox. That's what this messages seem to be saying about which crystals for now you should be working with. Hope that helps, Damien.
Okay.
Can I go to some spirit shout outs?
Yes.
Somebody today, one of your relatives was showing this to me. Somebody just today or yesterday, last 24 hours, was thinking about, or maybe went or was looking at, in the old days they used to kind of measure us and our parents would put us against the wall and measure our height. Mm-hmm. So you were doing this or thinking about that yesterday or today, and like your parent is with you and saw that, and you're watching now. So I want to know who that is. Also, I have an interesting name coming through. I haven't heard this name in a long time, and the name is Ophelia.
Oh, yeah.
Why are you saying, oh, yeah?
Because you used to talk about Ophelia a lot back in the day. There's a spirit guide.
I did?
Yeah. You don't remember a lot.
This is not a spirit guide. This is a person who passed on.
Okay.
So they're connecting, and this is either their name. I would think it has to be their name because I don't think anybody's really named that now. But, okay.
All right. So are you ready for the next question?
I'm ready for several questions. Let's keep going.
Okay. So Shazana, I would just love to hear anything from my guides if possible. I'm at a point in life where I feel like change or next steps, but not sure. Just want to be open enough to hear anything.
I like that you said open enough to hear anything, because what I'm getting is that this is you're beginning a much deeper spiritual quest, and it's almost like you need to give yourself permission for this. And if you don't give yourself permission for this, no one in your life is going to give you permission for this. This is where you say, that's it. I'm in charge of what I would like to believe. and what I do believe, and I'm interested in digging deeper, and I'm interested in expansion, and this is that time for you. It's almost, by the way, you have this most beautiful snow leopard spirit animal. Snow leopard is just coming through so strong, it's like the hairs on my arms are standing up. So that's a very good sign for you. You are it's like you're all about the justice and what's right, and I would say that's good. But I don't want you to live a life of like battles for your position. It's not about all these other people, and don't waste your time trying to get these other people to change. This is now you dropping into renewing yourself, your relationship to your body, number one. So absolutely get into the yoga now. But I would say also not just mix up the yoga styles. So I really like, for you, I would say look into Kundalini yoga, and then I would say do yin yoga once a week. So those are two very different types of yoga, by the way, but you need that balance. Yes, that's what it is.
Shatay found a recording of the heights of her kids on her phone this week. Like on the wall. Shatay, yes.
Oh, is this a Shatay that I've worked with before?
Yes.
How many people are named that? Hi, Shatay. And Shatay was saying what?
When they, in their favorite house, they did that with their kids.
Yes.
On the wall, the heights.
Yes.
And like she just found this week a video of that on her phone. They
How
don't live there anymore.
Amazing is that? That is so beautiful. So all of these guides saw you do that, but also your elders saw you do that. I see this as a message, Shatay, for them blessing you and your family. Remember something, you don't have just ancestors, guys, from this lifetime that look like your skin color or whatever background you're from. You have ancestors from completely different ethnic backgrounds and religious backgrounds and spiritual backgrounds. So think about that, because ain't nobody ever tell you to think about that, and it's absolutely true. So it's almost like your whole ancestral family from when you were different, I guess the word is ethnicities. They saw that, and it's like they want to say, and they use that as a reference. It's so interesting, right? That you happen to whoever thinks about that. They're also showing to me that they like how you've grown, but not physically, but spiritually. Because on the other side, there's just consciousness. There's no identifying features anymore, guys. We're no longer these skin colors and these religions. All that stuff is just for here, just for now. Love it, fight about it, do what you want, obsess over it. And it's not about that. On the other side, there's just consciousness. There's just light, there's just love, there is expansion consistently.
Yeah.
So there you go. All right.
Okay.
Want to question? Man, I got spirit shout outs. Like, we can just keep rolling and rocking along.
Yes. So tell me when you're ready.
I'll do one more spirit shout out.
Okay.
So somebody who crossed over. No, is this? Okay, I'm going to just tell you, they're talking about glass blowing. So, were you like, did you take a course or try to get training in glass blowing? Or did this person on the other side, who I believe is female, related to you, who's making me talk about this, or did they do it? You know glass blowing? You know, I think there's a reality show, competition show that does that.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah.
What's it called? Glass blowing masters or something? Gee. Okay, let's go.
Okay, so Melissa Murphy. Hi, Lady O and Riz. My sister Sam committed suicide on 8/21/21. Would love to, almost on your birthday.
Yeah.
Would love to connect with her if she's around. Also, I had a fantastic tarot reading with Erica. Merlin showed up, excited for O's book. It'll be out October 18th, but I don't want to talk about that right now because it's more important. So let's discuss this.
Yeah, let me see. As I'm connecting and asking for, when I say as I'm connecting, I ask for the connection. That's all I can do. And then they say yes, there's something, or they don't say anything, which means it's for another time. But as I've put the request in, and if something comes through from Sam, I'll say it. I do want to say something about suicide, and I think that, and I'm just going to say about what people experience on the other side is that they're not punished for committing suicide. It's quite the opposite. In fact, they are embraced, they are huddled around, they are offered great love instantaneously, and then they work on whatever challenges they faced in this life. They still work on it on the other side. And so you continue because your entire existence is about that expansion. And so of course it's going to happen on the other side as well. But certainly you're not punished for it. I would say, like, people always ask me, does spirit guides not like anything? I'm like, well, they don't like that thing, but they understand it, and then they just love you through it. Okay, and help you with it. So with Sam, yes, yes, yes. Did she have rings, or do you really like rings? Because she's talking about rings. She's talking about rings, plural. Thank you. What else? There's a big heart around the month of May. So I don't know if that's a birthday or anniversary of something. I'm asking if there's anything she wants to say about, like, what she was going through. Yeah, I'm going to say she's talking very conversationally. She's like, shit, you drive me crazy. Like the tick, she's like the tick-tocking of time, just time going by, it would go so slow. It's like she is a soul that when she was in the physical body, she needed much, much bigger horizons. And yeah, well, of course. I have to say, of course, because there's like a conversation happening. So she's like, my heart got broken easily. And I'm like, well, of course. I mean, I would think so, logically. But she is saying that. She's with the horses. The guides and horses. If I were to describe to you the kind of vision that she's showing me, it's like stables, barns, soft, quiet. Yes. Question for you, and I don't know what this is. I'm just going to say it to you. Do you have what's her name again? Who I'm giving the reading to?
Yes, it's Shazana.
No,
sorry, Melissa. Melissa Murphy.
Melissa. I know,
Murphy.
because I know that Sam is the sister. But Melissa, is there some joke about your slippers, or do you have like an old? Are you wearing old slippers? She's making fun of like what you wear in the house on your feet. I know I'm asking you questions, but I do this because you're not in front of me, so I have to wait for the answers. Is she saying anything yet, Erica?
Not yet.
Okay.
We don't know if she's even on right now, but she will find out when she looks.
Okay, I'm sure she's listening. Okay, thank you.
All right, so
she has come to you. By the way, she's saying, I have come to you. I've made noise. I've walked with you to the car. Yeah. Like when you're walking to the car through parking lots. Are you not? Do you like constantly look around, or she's like, you're not paying enough attention. Not that anything's going to happen to you, but like it's in those moments where you're not paying attention that like she's right there walking with you. She likes the shopping. Do you like to shop at Target? Who doesn't? So I'm going to wait for those responses.
She said, I'm not sure with the rings. She'll ask her family.
Thank you.
And there might be more because I think she has a little bit of a delay.
Okay, that's fine.
Well, people are talking while we're waiting. They're talking about some people are having a thunderstorm, or they had thunderstorms and had the smell of thunderstorms. And I really miss thunderstorms. We used to have thunderstorms when I was younger, but you know,
did you?
Yeah, our whole ecosystem has changed here in Los Angeles, and it's so rare. And then a few years ago, didn't we get like 123 inches of rain in like 6 months or something? We had landslides. It was a nightmare. So it's either too much or not enough, but we don't have those big rolling thunderstorms anymore.
Sam is also saying that it's either there's a Dan or a Dave name that's being mentioned. So we'll wait to see what
Melissa says we
about
have
that.
the same dad, different mom, so we didn't get to grow up together. Oh my God, I definitely was wearing old slippers today. That's so funny.
She's making fun of that. That's so funny. They're with you guys. You see, it's like, so the message is your sister's like, throw away the old slippers and just buy the new ones. Like, go to Target, get a new pair of slippers. Okay, or two.
All right. So we are going to go on to Dilean.
Dil.
Dilena.
No A at the end.
Dilene.
Dilene.
It's Dilene.
Dil.
Ean.
I would pronounce that Dilene.
Yeah.
Okay.
How can I unstuck myself from a past relationship that happened 8 years ago? No matter what I have done, the things this person has said about me has devastated my esteem. Oh, I want to take this one. Can I take this one? Please, 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 pretty please.
Dilene, are you ready for this? Here we go.
I have been married several times and I know about exes. And let me tell you something. On one side, maybe I'm going to just cut it to you straight, girlfriend to girlfriend. Maybe he's right on some of the things he's saying and let it kill you. Okay, moving on from that part, let's now rebuild. So let's say he is correct. Maybe it's stuff that he does, that he's saying about you that you don't want to admit to yourself, that you occur that way. So it's who you were at that time. It's who you were maybe in that moment, but maybe you're not that way anymore, and that's what matters. Or maybe it's not true at all, and if it's not true at all, it's like water off a duck's back. If it's not true at all, then it doesn't stick to you because it's not true for you. You're just hurt about the idea that he would do something to you. Well, I was very hurt when the father of my children decided to take the children away from me when I was 23 years old. And I didn't think that that was possible because he's the father and he saw me give birth and he sees I'm a good mother and how can he do this to me? So these things happen, right?
And you were really young too.
I was very young.
Both of you guys were young.
Yeah, no understanding. So it keeps going. So it's not just words that people say, it's actions, and then you don't understand. But what you have to do is you have to understand at some point that it's not what they're saying that defines you. It's what you're saying about yourself that defines you. And so maybe what he's doing is pushing you along as a soul friend. He's the catalyst that's pushing you in the direction of finding your truth about who are you really? Are you really that person? If you're really not that person, then you stand up and say, I'm not that person. So if you are that person, then let it burn and let it singe. And if you don't like the feeling, then say, well, I need to change. If it's not true for you, you don't need to be triggered because it's not true. So then if it's not true, then you're like, well, that's a lie. And if you need to go talk to people that he's spreading lies to, you can go talk to them. But then you have to look at those friends. Who are they going to believe? So if they believe him, are they really your friends? So this is how you kind of shake the tree and understand who you really are. This is all upgrade time for you. And don't feel like you have to be stuck with arrows pointing at you and like you are a victim to these words. It's just an arrow pointing you in the right direction.
I can totally feel y'all who are watching, and that there's so many people in the viewers right now. They're so mad for you right now that someone has done that. And notice that I don't say.
She says it was superficial things about my body.
Oh.
So, okay, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Okay, when it comes to the body, you guys, whoo. So let's talk about body shaming and all that for 5 seconds. I'm only going to give it 5 seconds. This is a stage we have to go through because of everything we've been through in the past. So this is kind of like a stage in society where we all have to upgrade this conversation. So when people feel like they can talk about body, other people get offended. And so we're learning not to talk about body, right? So everybody's learning to take our eyes off of the body and to stop speaking about the body in shameful ways. But you don't have to let it be what defines you. Right now, you can take this as an opportunity to say, I don't like what he said, but maybe it's true and I can fix it. Or maybe it's not true. And I could just move forward with myself and say, I need to be around people who talk in a more positive way. So you don't have to be stuck to this area where it's like, it's just kind of like a back and forth in your mind. But he said this about me, but he said this about me, but he said this about me. We all know what that's like to constantly review what somebody said about you 1,000 million times. And so you get to a point where you go, okay, enough is enough. He's had enough real estate in my brain, and he's had enough time to tell me bad things about myself. Number one, maybe I agree with him and I'm ashamed of it. Maybe number two, I don't want to hear that. Maybe number three, it's not accurate. So all the above, you're still the author of your story, and you're the author that says you're allowed to feel however you want. No one owns you or controls you. They offer you up suggestions. They can do it in the form of compliments. They can give it to you in the form of insults. It's however you want to receive it.
It's about how the energy. Now, here's what's interesting. I mean, think about in the world we live in, this comment generation. Think about all these people who are in the public eye, okay? You have so many people in the public eye that are constantly judged for who they're dating, who they're married to, what their body looks like, what they say, what they don't say, what kind of music they do, if you think that they're good or you think that they're bad or you think that they're evil. And all we're seeing is this scrolling of comments, and everybody has something to say about everybody else. You could literally put up a statement on the internet and just wrote, I really love oranges.
Remember what
and a bunch of people will say they love oranges too, and then someone will come along and go, but do you know what's happening to the orange crop that's happening in this community? And do you know what the proliferation of oranges on the market are doing to the economy? And you will have haters, even if you just write something as simple as I love oranges.
We were in the car and you looked at me and you said, what happens if there's a big UFO that comes across this whole sky?
That was yesterday.
And lands like right above the city? What would happen? Do you think everybody would stop and get it? And I said, oh no, we're way past that. It's going to be comments about, oh, now you show up. Oh yeah, now what are you going to do? Oh yeah, it's not really aliens. Oh yeah, it's holographic. Oh,
this is a really great time for the
mind control. Oh yeah,
course.
oh yeah. So nobody is going to accept reality when reality is actually happening in various forms. So you're always going to have a comment, right? This is comment culture.
If I had to give a really advice to my younger self, it would be really don't care what people think. Do not surrender to the magic that you are, and stop listening to what other people say about you. There hasn't been a person, and Red Eagle said this, by the way. Red Eagle gave in a channeling session once. He said, and by the way, he's done it. He said it many times, but he said, there isn't a person, and drop in with me here. What's her name? Dillian. Drop into this for a second, because this is fact. There hasn't been a person on earth that everyone has agreed upon and liked. Everyone. Not even Jesus or Buddha or Mother Teresa or Gandhi, or the list goes on and on. Not one person in all of history has been liked by everyone. If somebody likes them, somebody also probably hates them. If somebody's complimenting them, there's probably someone who's insulting them. And who cares? Don't waste your time. There are people, I used to watch on YouTube, people would say all these insulting things to other people on videos that I liked, and I would see all these haters. I'm like, why are you watching? Oh, because you like to spew your venom. That says a lot more about you than the person that you don't like. So let it go. Leave your past behind and leave your behind in the past is what I like to say.
Oh my goodness. This is very interesting.
Yeah. What?
You know what? Interesting. Okay, so she says, we're still talking about Dilene. She says that she hears what we're saying, and for whatever reason, it's become her truth, as if she's under a spell. Again, it's been 8 years. You know what's so interesting? Because once you start to understand that you're programmable, first of all, you understand that you can be programmed by your own thoughts. Okay, you have to understand that you're the one responsible for your own thoughts. And when we got together, we were starting to compare notes about people who have hurt us in the past and like sharing stories, you know. Yeah. And I remember you told me some stories of like things that your mother said or like things like that really hurt you. And to this day, at your age today, which you're going to be
55.
55.
Tuesday.
And you told me stories of things that your mom said that hit you viscerally to this very day, like it happened yesterday, and we had to clear them, and it wasn't easy, and it's not easy. So that's why she's saying, how do I clear something that has been ingrained for 8 years?
When you're sick of it, when you're sick of it, do you know how many people, think about racism in this world, okay? every ethnic group has felt racism. Some a lot worse than others, some that's still going on, and some that's to some degree going on. But people say stuff about a person's race. It's a prejudice, right? So they'll say it, and they'll just categorize that, and the people of that race know that that's being said about them, and they have to carry this weight for hundreds of years on their back, and then they still have to shine, because what you do is you just surrender to the love and the magic and the divine essence that you are, baby. That's it. That's what you got to do. So to all my brothers and sisters out there, which is everyone, you surrender to that. Now, if you want to let this become your God and let him program you, go right ahead. We can talk about this when you're 65, 75, 85. I do. I talk to people like this every single day. And I had a guy several years ago. He was one of the most powerful guys in business in LA. And he became only successful because his brother, who, by the way, his brother was a mechanic and owned an auto shop in LA, just a very humble kind of shop, and just did his thing. And that older brother would constantly insult his younger brother that he was nothing, he was not good for anything, and this guy became practically a billionaire and has a great family and everything, but came to me because he just still wasn't happy. So I did a lot of shamanic work with him. He only became a success. Like, he would still go to his brother's auto shop and pull in with his McLaren, and the brother would come out and go, "Oh, you brought that piece of shit with you here? You're still buying these piece of crap cars?" And the brother could buy and sell the whole block and would take that in. It would still hurt him. Cut to another scenario. You go to a high school reunion. You haven't been in that high school in 20 years, 30 years, and people offer stories about you that you don't even remember. You remember stories about them. I went to my high school reunion. I think it was the 20-year I went to, and I met people there, and I said, "Oh my God, remember that time that you were at the water fountain and you said this to that girl?" And they were like, "I don't even remember there was a water fountain." I'm like, "My God, story has stayed with me for 20 years about you. It's almost like my defining story about you, and you're telling me you don't even remember the most basic information about it."
Wow.
So cut to that. So then there's people who will insult you and say all sorts of stuff about you that triggers your life, and they don't even remember. And by the way, you've done it too.
Yeah.
You're not going to know. You can swear up and down you've never done it. Believe me, we've all done things that have hurt people.
And that is insane. So, yeah. Dylene, imagine you said something in passing to somebody. It could have even been him or someone else that really hurt them, and you didn't realize it.
He might be trying to get revenge for one thing you did that you don't even know you said or did.
And to this day, they're still carrying that.
Don't try to find out what it was. That's not the point. The point is that this is how energy works.
Yeah,
but anyway, when you're sick of it and you want to live your life in gratitude and joy for the gifts you've been giving and the fact that you can move your fingers and talk and type into this computer, you won't worry about what this guy says. Let's go forward. Riz Oriah says,
so this is from
Riz, let's go forward. I'm just sitting here and you're not drinking out of my head anymore. I am. Watch. I'm drinking his thoughts out of his head.
Well,
see?
That's part of the message I think you're going to give next.
He's thinking very ancient thoughts.
Because we're going to go to Gary, and Gary's going to have to get a sense of humor, because we're going to go from that to his question.
Gary?
They're going to have to be a segue here. So, Gary?
I do segues.
Hang on to your britches. Here we go.
Yeah.
So my grandmother, Virgie, is on her deathbed. Is there any messages from my guides or her guides for me?
How do you spell Virgie?
Virgie.
Virgie. I would think to pronounce that Virgie. Let's call her V for now. Gary, let me see. It's very important for her to hear your voice. So if you are physically there, she can hear your voice. If you're not, can you get a family member to put the phone or FaceTime to her ear? She needs to hear from you that you believe in heaven. My guides are giving you this message. She needs to hear from you, like to say, "Oh, heaven's so beautiful," and she needs to hear from you that you feel so good and thankful, and you're going to live a great life. And talk to her about turning into light, and sing her a song. Sing her a song. She would love that. Doesn't matter what. Please don't think about what you think of your voice, Gary. Just do that. And if you could sing one from her own childhood or her own culture, whatever that may be, that would be even better. Yes. Just touch, if you're there in person, just touch her feet, squeeze her feet. And she's very, psychically, she's very aware of you. Okay.
This is interesting. Somebody's asking about Metatron, but I don't think it's the same thing. So, Lisa from Australia, can I get one of my guides to explain what is the connection with Metatron? It's very strong, and I'm needing some clarification.
Okay, I got it. It's coming up right for you here. It needs some clarification, is what she said? Well, I'm just going to tell you what I'm getting.
Yeah, she has a connection with Metatron.
Of course.
It's very strong, and she wants to know what's the connection.
Oh, this is how you are actually being able to organize information that you're downloading in a cohesive, simple format. What does this mean? So in a hard drive in a computer, there is a selection you can make when you're doing maintenance on your computer to help it perform better. It's called defragmenting. And what that means is, because information on your computer, which is stored in hard drives, they're disks in your computer, the hard drive, so it can be stored, but not always in order. So the computer has to search for where is it on the disk for the information that it needs. And then sometimes there's, you can do this process called defragmenting, which then basically puts them in, it lines everything up in order in the pantry instead of being in several different cupboards in every different corner of the kitchen. It puts them all in one pantry, so it's easy to find the cup that you're looking for, is the way I'm going to describe it. So Metatron is working with you on keeping things in order. You're keeping your thoughts in order, and your connection to the astral realm. So, okay, got it. So this is very important when you're doing your meditation before sleep, really surrounding yourself in white light. But for you to really understand that the white light is not just to protect you from everything, but to connect you to everything. So it's quite the opposite. The white light is not there just to shelter you, but it is to help you connect magnetically through this. Sound frequency, very important. You can find beautiful healing frequencies online. I'm getting, yes, of course, 432, but I'm also getting 936 or 963. That's the frequency. You can find some of these meditations with that music in that frequency on YouTube. So many of them. So that's very good. Metatron is there also. I have to go back. Okay, thank you. So we're going back 2 years. So we're in 24, so 2022, right around this time. More going into October, November. This was very intense, and that's when Metatron really fully actually came in to get your attention. Let me know. I'd love to know more about that. Okay. Any confirmations, any spirit shout-outs, anything you got for me?
Well, Jennifer D., who we've already given messages to, but her grandmother worked at a glass factory, and her name is Cleo, and that's the only person that came.
No, this was about somebody who blows glass, not a glass factory. Okay. Interesting, though.
Yeah.
Let me see if there's anything else. Any other spirit shout-outs, please, guides? Yes?
We have more questiones.
So no, that name AC or Basie didn't come through. No. I wonder who that, guys, there was a nickname like AC, or Ace maybe was the name. So it's repeating it in case you missed it if you're just tuning in.
So I just posted a sleep meditation video that I did that you guys can actually listen to for healing and deep restorative work on your body, that you can go into a deep sleep and actually have some work done while you are sleeping. So I dropped that link in there.
Great.
Yeah. And also, since it's like 8:52, what I would like to do is talk a little bit about some updates. And I do want to get to a couple more questions.
Definitely want to do some more readings. I just want to give one more spirit shout out. The name Clark is coming through. So it's either the first name or the last name, Clark.
So I will be announcing very shortly. I have my first novel, and it's a 400-page novel. It's a fantasy novel called Finding Merlin.
It's epic.
And it is my spiritual journey, my sojourn, set in Merlin's forest, set to the characters and the aliens and the experiences with the people and things and places that I have experienced in my journeys. I'm going to drop it in. It will be available. I think it's going to be live August 18th. I'm getting confirmation on that, but I'm pretty sure. But there's the link for now.
August 18th. That's
sorry. I meant to say October. It's for
it's today. Okay.
There is a paperback version, and then there's going to be a collector's edition.
Is there going to be an audiobook?
Cover eventually. That's going to take some time. And there's about 380 illustrations. It is a keepsake book.
What about an ebook?
And that all can come into the future. You are not helping me. Thank you very much.
And what about the original manuscripts autographed?
Yeah, and what about you doing book signings? And what about you flying over to
Yes, come on. We all want to see you do that.
Okay, thanks.
Do we get any shot? Yeah, I felt it.
Are you just not wanting at all to do any announcements tonight?
We will. If we have to go later, we will.
Okay. And you want to do a bunch of...
No, I want to do... I feel like I want to do a bunch more readings.
He wants to do a bunch more readings. He wants to also do a bunch more announcements, and he wants to do a bunch more spirit shout-outs. So we're going to be here all night.
Do you guys have a problem being here till midnight?
Coming over any minute.
So?
There's going to be kids coming in, and I may want to, go talk to them.
Go talk to them.
Okay, I might do that.
Fry up some eggs like you do. She makes really good eggs. Okay, go ahead.
Abigail.
Brother-in-law.
Jace.
Thank you.
In 2017.
Thank you. I've been trying to say Jace. Her brother-in-law passed in 2022. Well, Jace has... 2017. He has been trying since the beginning of this broadcast. Where were you in the beginning? Because I said Ace instead of Jace. Okay. Yeah. It was unusual, right? Because that's not a name. That's not a... How does she spell Jace? Or they just
Jace.
Jace. Wow. Okay. Thank you. What a shock it must be for me to be saying that to you right now. Alive and kicking and well, and this boy, he is so energetic. It's like talking to somebody who's like bouncing up and down to be in this. This is... I mean, the shock of that and the pain of that is absolutely not the way he likes to be remembered at all. He's like, I want to be at the barbecue. I want to celebrate July 4th. I want to be there for the Christmases. I want to be for all the holidays. It's like, I'm there. And it did. Oh, I will say this. Some people take a long time after they cross over to kind of decompress, and it took him quite a bit of time. But I mean, this still feels like the last few Earth years wise, like last 2 years, 3 years, he's been very present, but trying to get attention. So he had to come to Psychic Sundays and say hi to you guys. So there you go.
So we're having a little tug of war on the chats because they're encouraging you to continue, and I'm trying to get them to stop. And I'm like, God, don't encourage him.
Why?
Because you're going to be here all night.
Oh.
That's true. And I have to fly in the morning. Because we're going on a little birthday trip for 2 days. Okay, wait. Any more spirit shout out confirmations?
We have a lot of questions still lined up.
Okay, I'm going to do 3 more psychic questions.
Just say no.
I said no.
Just say no.
I'm gonna
block it.
3. Okay, 2. Compromise. 2 more.
Okay.
It's not easy, guys. It is not easy to man the chats, guys. It's not easy to man the chats, and so let's.
It's not that. It's just we're leaving at 7:45 a.m. to catch a flight with a bunch of kids, and you expect me to what do you want me to do here?
They're not
This is a real family, you guys. You're just like taking a peek into our real life. Okay, they're always in our real life, so I don't know. Okay, so here's a question from Mary Hopkins. Are you ready?
Mary Hopkins has a question. Mary Hopkins has a question.
Not Mary Poppins. I said Mary Hopkins.
Mary Hopkins has a question.
Oh God.
I feel like I hear all the spirit guides say, Mary Hopkins has a question. Mary Hopkins has a question. Mary Hopkins has a question.
They're asking about the PJ party. Listen.
Oh my God, that is not.
Okay, what's Mary Hopkins' question?
So grateful to meet you guys, new listener. Any messages from my spirit team? I'm too excited to meet them in the near future.
Oh, well.
That sounds like you're
I like that
boomer plus, right?
Why would you say that?
Because she says she's looking forward to meeting them in the near future.
I don't think she means that she was just waiting for herself to die to meet them.
Honey,
that's how you process that?
Listen, if I was in my older years, I would say the same thing. I would say that I'm looking
You know what it is? You grew up on too many 80s
Alex,
movies.
Do you know he wants to go like a whole nother hour?
Let me tell you something.
We have to leave in the morning early.
Alex, say hi so they hear your voice.
Hello.
This is the eldest
say it again,
of the girls.
Okay.
Hey, hi. So she's saying hi. Alex is our personal yoga teacher, by the way.
I would be so excited to meet my guides.
Let's break it down.
I would say near future.
But you just made it sound like she's saying that she's looking forward to meeting you guys in the future.
You better clear this up
because she's
going to
die.
Mary, we need your help right now.
First of all, Mary. I have a few messages for you.
Hopefully I'm not dying yet.
Thank you. I wouldn't know if you are. That's not information I'm privileged to know. But I will say this to you. Why are you laughing when I say privileged to know?
I don't know. It just came out wrong, but it's okay.
You people are so weird.
Just go ahead.
Okay. So, Mary, I have a message from Frank Sinatra for you. He's one of your guides. Yes, he is. Two things. How do I know? Because I hear the music. It's like the 3, 4, 5 songs play at once. This is my life. It happens that fast, guys. You guys who watch know that it comes to me this fast. And it is two things. You know, there's a song called "I Get a Kick Out of You." So it's about your love life. It is about more sparks in that area. So if you have someone, more sparks. If you don't have someone, more sparks are coming. And like little Frank is like your Cupid. So he's like shooting an little arrow to activate more love energy in you. How interesting. I think I've only gotten a message from him maybe once in like 20 years. So, excuse me, you're the second person I would think, because he feels familiar. I think he was also working with somebody else once. But that's number one. Number two, I keep getting this thing about like your neck, your jaw, this area. You might want to look into some cranial sacral therapy or working with getting a nice scalp massage or doing, I don't know, I keep getting this side of the face like it's tension, like needs to be released from the body. I'm going to ask if there's another message from... Oh, Mary, there's also somebody here who's military gentleman on the other side who passed on is around you.
She said, I love Frank Sinatra. I knew it.
You love Frank Sinatra? Oh, that's amazing. Well, he's working with you. And he's not working with you just because you love him, because sometimes you don't... I've given messages to people where there was some guide who was famous or was like a celebrity that is now working with people on the other side. And they're like, oh, I was never really into that person. It's not about you being into them. It's nice that you are, but it's not about that. It's about what they know that they can help to activate in you or with you.
She says, I love him. I knew it.
Yeah, that's what Erica just said.
Oh, sorry.
If you were,
you were talking too quiet.
When I play piano and sing his songs.
She plays piano and sings his songs?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's very specific.
I must be psychic. Okay.
I can also see her picture. She's not a boomer. She's not old.
And she's not old.
No.
I'm never going to hear the end of it. Never going to hear the end of it.
By the way, what I was trying to say was the reason why you thought that you were saying something like that.
I got a Leo, Virgo, Scorpio over
Can
there.
I finish what I'm going to say? So listen, you grew up on too many 80s movies where there were like lines like when Clint Eastwood would ask someone, the criminal, so do you believe in God, punk? And then the punk would be like, yeah. And then he would like, well, because you're going to meet him now. And then he would, those are that kind of your stuff. Like, oh, you want to meet your spirit guides? Oh, because you're going to die.
I've moved on. I have literally
I'm
moved
obsessed.
on.
Okay, now one more.
She said that, were you mentioning like an older gentleman? I think.
Yeah.
That was
She says,
Oh, your dad.
Frank
okay.
and I were both Aquarians.
Not her dad.
Or both
his
are.
grandpa.
Frank and
Our
I
grandpa,
were both
okay.
Aquarians.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Last question. You said 2. That was 1.
I did not say 2.
Erica said 2, so I'm going to do 1 more.
Oh my God.
How about before we
I
do the
got
last
a question right here.
I
We
just
have
wanna-
Christine.
All right.
You guys, we try to be more professional than this. I swear to God.
I don't want to try to be professional.
I do.
I just want to be myself.
I try. I just try. Okay, so Christine. Hello, Lady O and Riz. What?
Keep it real.
Oh my God. Oh,
Professional. If it's real, if it's professional, it's
like-
just natural.
so cringe right now.
Oh my God.
Okay, so Christina's saying, hello, Lady O and Riz. What color shall I work with? And I feel that I'm in stagnation. So what color should she work with?
Why don't you answer the first one, what you feeling empathically, and then I will answer the second part.
Okay, I'm getting the first color I'm getting. It's this very nice, fun Christmas green. And it's not dark green. It's like Christmas tree green, kind of like the Douglas fir. So it's a little bit brighter than that. And I feel like there's a lot of information in here
I can
for you.
smell that.
It's almost like if
energy.
you were going to put it like the color of money kind of thing. It's like a fun kid green. That's the kind of green. Like you take that green to make the grass on your picture.
So
That's what I'm getting.
But all of that, it's interesting because green is heart chakra, but it is also about abundance because it's nature. So that's great. I really like, though, what you were talking about, the Douglas fir, because you could, really take that into your message. This Christmas, get a Douglas fir, get a real Christmas tree, and, make sure you water it, right? So that you can get that fragrance, that smell. It's so purifying. It's so cleansing. You could breathe that in. And I'm so excited that summer is ending and soon it'll be spooky season. Let's just, before I get to the last question, I want to also do a quick announcement. You did mention the Sedona Shaman Retreat, which is happening in the spring. We also have the Mount Shasta Retreat, guys. Mount Shasta is where I channel Saint Germain and channel messages from the Lemurians, and it is a deep crown chakra activation that happens with us in Mount Shasta. We also, by the way, side note, we do private groups across the country, guys. If you guys follow me on Instagram, it's Psychic Riz the Wiz, and you will see pictures of different groups that I lead around the country. So we're going to be in Texas in November, we're going to be in Virginia, or we're going to be Georgia. So there's different places we're going to be, but you can organize weekends that are shamanic healing weekends where we will be there. And so this is part of the work that we do around the country. If you're interested in figuring out how to have a weekend for your personal friends and family, or
Can you drop it in the link?
yes, and we also then just write to us, drop it in the chat that you're interested in getting more information about that. You can have it for your friends, you can have it for your coworkers, you can have it as part of team building, community building in your own personal group of people, where we come and work with you in sacred shamanic healing. Also, as far as Sedona and Shasta goes, for our viewers who are watching live, if you would like to join us, you get a discount by being part of the live group. So put that you're interested in either coming to Sedona or Shasta. We do, by the way, have 2 spots for the Pyramids, Sacred Pyramids and Sphinx Egypt Mystical Retreat, which is happening next fall. So not this year. This year sold out, but next year we have
November 6th through the 13th.
of 25. We have 2 spots that opened up. These are the last 2 spots, guys.
And the last international retreats.
The last Egypt retreat.
2025. We're closing shop of our international retreats.
International retreats, right.
Over 10 years we've been doing it.
13 years we've been doing
Yeah.
it. So
We have other projects
you'll get a
coming.
nice discount if you're interested in that. And if you'd like to work one-on-one personally with me, I am now doing the calendar, or Erica's doing the calendar for 2025 to do shamanic sacred plant medicine healing here in LA. So you can reach out to her and see what it entails and have a consult about doing that kind of work with me. It is really about resetting your body, mind, and spirit, and breaking through any past traumas and unlocking yourself. And there's several people probably who are watching who have already done that work with me. Write your experience so other people can see. If you've been on a retreat, guys, if you've been on a retreat with me or had a reading with me or have done shamanic healing with me, please share how it was for you. And other people can see that and also help themselves. So back to the question about stagnation.
Well, I just want to say everybody's wishing you happy birthday. It's very nice.
Thank you.
And also there was a spirit shout out confirmation, I think.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Kelly Duff, her grandma Lily's last name was Clark.
Thank you.
There you go.
Grandma Lily Clark was saying hello to you as just a little nod and a wink and saying, I got you, Kelly. Sorry, not Kelly. What's her name?
Yeah, Kelly.
Her name is Kelly. Thank you. Lily was saying to Kelly, thank you. Yeah. Well, she was very polite, by the way. It was literally like, I'm with the Clarks. Like, I'm with the Clarks. Like, it was like someone, I'm like, okay, yeah, okay. Yeah, she was very, the energy was very soft, by the way. It wasn't like, I always get a kick when someone pushes to the front of the line and says, I wanted to give this message, So.
Well, there's quite a few of you that are interested in the retreats and they're asking questions. So here's the best way.
And stagnation, listen, I want to say the last thing about stagnation is this. Come and do some of these experiences with us because you're immersed for several days. You won't be able to get away, nor will you want to be able to get away because we will be away and you'll be getting away from what you want to get away from.
We will keep you there and shut all the doors.
Exactly, and open all the windows and doors, actually. So do something unique for yourself. Whether you come and do a retreat with us or somebody else, it doesn't matter. It's just about you need to stir it up. You need to spin it around. You need to flip that pancake and catch it with your eyes closed. Got it?
I have nothing further to say for the evening.
Good. Well, you're not on trial.
Riz has set it all.
Set it all.
You have set it all, dear. There's nothing for me to say anymore.
All right, then.
All right, then.
All right, love.
Hope everybody have a fantastic week. And we've been enjoying ourselves greatly here in the Metamystic Podcast.
We're not going to be on next week.
Because you're going to be in Sedona.
I'm going to be leading a Sedona retreat next week. So
Correct.
We'll be on after next Sunday. Okay,
yes,
guys?
Yes, you guys.
All right.
So thank you, everybody, for the well wishes and the happy birthdays. And we really appreciate you tuning in. I hope you guys got some new information you did not have before. Please, if you have any questions about the retreats, you can go to info@rizmirza.com or go to the links that Erica dropped. Go to our website to Sacred Earth Retreats, and you will see all of the lists of retreats that we do. Mention that you saw us on this live for a discount, and we will proceed. Adios, everyone. Love you all.
Much love.
Bye.